What's up, guys? Another episode of the Best Words Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about E3 and our predictions, what we would like to see, what has already been announced, and how it will all play out. So definitely stay tuned and enjoy the show.
Today we're doing E3 predictions because it's about that time of year everyone starts gearing up for E3, and
we just want to be a part of that.
yeah,
It's basically Christmas for gamers.
it's been a thing that I do on Twitter like every year called E3 pipe dreams. So far, most of those have never come true.
Never will.
Last Guardian got announced last year.
You were right about the Final Fantasy 13 versus
Yes,
becoming
that is
15.
still like my biggest accomplishment as a pipe dream was that Final Fantasy versus 13 got turned into Final Fantasy 15.
After 20 years of development.
It was
I'm
amazing.
still so excited. That game
That
looks
was
so
amazing.
good. They're going to be showing more of that at E3, which, I mean, at this point, I don't even care. I just want the game.
Yeah, well, they've done a really good job of, and I guess we'll start with Sony, but they've done a really good job of not oversaturating the market with their advertisement and just pushing of the game.
Yeah.
Like, my biggest complaint about Destiny, besides how they screwed it up after launching, was they announced it twice. Like, they announced it at E3 one year, then announced it again. You already had my money. Like, I was already willing to give you my money, all of it. And you just beat me over the head with Super Bowl ads, with TV commercials, and all this other crap. So, congrats to Square for not beating it into the ground before it launches.
My biggest complaint with Destiny is the fact that Activision has any hand in it, because Activision is a terrible, terrible company, and they ruin everything that's good. The only thing they haven't ruined that's good is Blizzard, and Blizzard, that's just because they're their own entity, they're big enough they can tell Activision to fuck off.
I don't know about fuck off. More like we have a better idea.
They're like, that, we'll put a pin in that.
You should make Call of Duty in a fantasy world.
No.
Like, let's try this
I
instead.
got a better idea.
And they make Activision think it was their idea.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, oh,
Let's do Overwatch, and then Activision's going to come back later and be like, guys, we need to talk. All of your people that are playing Overwatch are cutting into our Call of Duty
Or COD blocks.
sales.
yeah.
COD blocks time.
Like, oh, well, we just want them to play Soldier. Problem solved.
That weekly brawl is going to be all Soldier 76 and like honor of a Call of Duty launch.
Sounds like
I
a
swear.
mess.
I'm actually really excited for Call of Duty to launch because it means that I can get all of those Call of Duty players off of Overwatch.
Yeah, for sure. But back to E3.
My big prediction for this year is still Left 4 Dead 3.
Why do you think?
So
That's not going to be a big prediction. I
mean,
don't care about that game anymore.
That's your opinion.
Sorry.
That's fine. I'm really excited for it because I think that, like, I absolutely loved Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. And I
Oh,
loved-
wait. Left 4 Dead 3?
You thought I was talking about Dead Island.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Retract that.
Oh.
Redacted. Take it all back. Yes, I thought you said Dead Island 3 because, God, those
No.
games were all just...
No, Dead Island was terrible.
Oh.
Like, I wanted Dead Island
no,
to be good.
I was advocating for it so hard when it launched E3, and then I got it, and I was like, this, why?
Yeah, it was really bad.
It was fun.
It wasn't bad, but it didn't live up to my
No,
expectations.
not even close.
But
That's
But-
probably why I was okay with it.
But
as far as for Left 4 Dead 3, Turtle Rock has been passively hiring for some multiplayer development that they haven't really specified. And Turtle Rock is the company that worked on Left 4 Dead 2. They're also the guys that worked on Evolve, and Evolve kind of flopped. So I feel like
Terribly
Oh,
so.
there were bad business decisions
Yeah.
involving Evolve.
That's a light way to put it.
I thoroughly enjoyed the gameplay. Like I had
I can-
nothing, like
the gameplay was fine.
You wanna
but-
Yeah.
And as I said, you want to talk about like Overwatch having good, like when you have a full team of people, it's Evolve was the same way. Like if
Yeah.
you had a full team of 4 people, like the strategy and just the hunting was really fun.
Yeah.
The business decisions behind it were stupid. Like
Yeah.
the whole season pass not counting for the entire thing, the
Microtransactions.
microtransactions
out the ass.
all the way. The cost of each individual piece of DLC was ridiculous.
Microtransaction.
Microtransaction.
Micro machines.
Microtransaction diarrhea is basically what that is.
But no, I think that based on the fact that Evolve didn't do as well as they wanted it to, and that they've been doing a hiring push towards a new multiplayer product, I think that Left 4 Dead 3 might actually happen.
But does that mean that we'll finally get a third part of a Valve game?
No, because technically yes, but not entirely
Because
because
it's
it's
Turtle
not.
Rock, yeah.
Yeah,
But yes, so maybe we'll finally get a Valve-related game.
because it's not like we're ever going to see Half-Life 3. If anybody thinks that Half-Life 3 is still going to happen, they're fucking retarded.
I don't know, man. Everybody said Final Fantasy VII remastered would never happen. And
That's
never will
entirely
happen.
different, though. Square needs to make money. Valve doesn't need to make money anymore. They've got Steam. They can make money for the rest of their lives. They literally have to do nothing else. They're just printing money.
But yeah, Left 4 Dead 3 would be fun to see. Are we going to see Last Guardian?
We're definitely going to see Last Guardian.
Are we going to see a release date for Last Guardian?
Sony keeps talking about Last Guardian is still planned for this year. So most likely we're going to see a release date. Most likely that release date is going to get pushed back. So we're probably not going to see... If they're going to say it's going to come out this year, then it's going to get pushed back into 2017.
Is that the theme for this year? Is that the theme for 2016? Just delays?
Maybe. I don't know. Well, I think the big problem is that a lot of really good games have released at the front end of the year. So there's not really a lot left to come out this year unless they're making unless everyone's got giant bombshells that they're dropping for the end of the year.
Delays have been the kind of the standard for this, especially this year.
I'm still waiting for everyone to be horribly disappointed by Nintendo's new console that isn't actually a console and is actually just a mobile phone. At this point, it's pretty much a given that it's going to be a console if the new Zelda is coming out on it. They've already announced that one. Apparently, there was a news release today that they're pushing back the release of NX because they're wanting to integrate VR into it.
Nintendo needs to stop the gimmicky stuff.
VR is not really a gimmick at this point, though.
It's still
where the industry is.
It's not that it's a gimmick. It's not that it is a gimmick.
It's not a gimmick to the same.
Until it proves that it can stand on its own in the marketplace, it is a gimmick. But Nintendo has this bad habit of whatever quote unquote gimmick they decide to throw their console on. They just take entire games and say, you know what? Instead of making a quality game, we're gonna force it to conform to this VR or motion control.
They ruin quality products with dumb gimmicks.
Yeah, because
Star Fox Zero. Yeah. Star Fox Zero was a great product, and then they ruined it by being like, "Oh, we need to put your stupid gyroscopic sensor in there."
Yep. And like I said, if they're gonna do VR, I promise you, it's gonna be something like that.
I don't think it will be quite as bad because, well, at least not at the front end anyway. I think that Nintendo. Well, I want to say that I think Nintendo is moving back towards their core audience, but I think Nintendo is kind of accepted.
A lot of Nintendo fans saying that.
They
say they're going back to their roots. They care about us again.
Where's the Metroid game? If you'll let me finish. No. I want to say that they're going back to their core audience, but honestly, I think it's more of the fact that I think Nintendo has accepted their lot in life and that they're never going to be able to compete in the primary market again. So they're just carving out their own niche at this point. Which
is the way to do it.
Yeah, for the rest of their life. That's it.
Nintendo's already said themselves they don't have any intention of trying to compete with Sony or Microsoft anymore, which is kind of a shame because I'd love to see a major Nintendo platform with the same qualities as a PlayStation or an Xbox.
It would be nice to see.
It won't happen, but I want it to.
Do you think they'll ever go completely third party?
No, they'll never go third party. They make too much money off of their handhelds to ever have to worry about going third party. They still hold they've cornered the entire market. What happened with the PS Vita? Do you know? I don't know.
It's all about that PSP Go.
What was the last good... Was there ever a good Vita game that came out?
Probably.
I was gonna say Metal Gear, but that's
Look,
not
I don't
Vita.
have one.
Can you say there was a... I can tell you, definitively that unless you're a giant JRPG fan, there's no reason to own a Vita, because every game they've released is already out on other consoles.
Sure.
Jak and Daxter was on PS2.
There's a Daxter.
No, on the Vita. They released the game on the Vita.
It was probably terrible.
Look, if you really want your PlayStation on the go, get it. that's really.
If you
what
want
it
your
is.
PlayStation on the go, then kill yourself. Because that's a terrible idea. It's not. It's the problem isn't with the Vita. The Vita is a perfectly fine product. The problem is that Sony decided to just never market it.
You think they're going to
Well-
double down on their Vita this year?
No, definitely not.
They don't. They feel. I feel like. And correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody who listens to it, this podcast, I feel like every year they come out and say something about this new
Sony is
Vita
already-
thing.
Well,
They
I mean,
have.
they didn't say anything at all about Vita last year.
No, they didn't.
But Sony has also pretty much said that they're done supporting Vita. Like, they
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
exactly said those words, but they've basically put the nail in the coffin.
They've cut back.
But I think that the big focus for this year is going to be VR.
Morpheus.
Which
I know they
is-
changed the name
Because Microsoft is rumored to be releasing a new
like an AR.
version of the console.
Like an AR.
So the Xbox One, most likely the next Xbox One we're going to see is going to have some kind of Oculus support.
Okay. You're. Alright, that's fine. You're jumping around, but
I mean, that's kind of what we're supposed to be doing at the moment.
don't tell me what to do. But back to Sony. Sorry. I'm really looking forward to more Horizon, personally. Look, I really like the brief.
It'll probably be a giant letdown like the order was.
How dare you?
If they,
I expected nothing from the order.
I
I
wanted it
expected
to be
zero.
at least acceptable.
Nope. I was not a part of the crowd that was like, man, I'm really looking forward to this game. I thought it was going to be bad. And it did not disappoint. Sorry.
I think with Horizon, unless they show me something more of like the gameplay, I'm not going to get excited for it.
Fair enough. I mean, I just the little bit that I saw got me hyped, and it's honestly it's my most anticipated Sony release that I know of right now.
You're not excited about Final Fantasy VII?
I mean, I'll be more excited when I get a release date.
I mean, I'm more excited about Final Fantasy VII than anything else they put out.
I'll be more excited when I get a release date.
But it doesn't even really matter because Final Fantasy 15 is coming out. It's going to be better than everything.
I don't know about that.
Not so. It's going to be
You're
better
putting
than
that
every
on them.
Final Fantasy.
Is it the Empire Strikes Back of?
Oh, Final Fantasy.
No, because that was Final Fantasy 6. Final Fantasy 6 is still a masterpiece, and it'll never not be a masterpiece.
Yeah, is it getting that HD remake?
It really,
I
really
wish it
should.
was.
Is it getting
It
an
really-
HD remake, Brian?
it
Is that
really
what it's getting?
should.
The problem, so the reason that Final Fantasy VII is getting a remake is because it has aged the worst out of all of the Final Fantasy
Yeah.
games. If you go back and look
Although
at
It
any
has
of the other
nothing to
ones,
do with the mass following that it has.
no, it entirely has to do with the fact that the first one's a giant
It
piece of
has
shit.
nothing to do with the fact that if they made the remastered version, it would just make a stupid amount of money.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Are you drunk right now?
Yeah.
I
The
mean, I
fact
am
that
actually.
the fact that it's going to make that much money is why they do it.
Yeah.
It's so.
I get there's a core following.
There's
I
a
get-
combination of the two, but if you go
There
back
is.
and look at the old Final Fantasy games, out of all of them, Final Fantasy VII is the
I don't
only
know.
one that did not age well.
in 8 where she's like, "Oh, you're the handsomest boy in town," and I'm just like, "No, your face is all like, ugh."
But it still looks better than fucking Cloud and his triangles.
I don't
No.
mind the triangles.
I think
I
so.
prefer
those
some
biceps,
sort of.
though. Those
his
biceps.
Popeye arms.
Yeah. But Horizons, I don't know. I know you said you want to see more, and like I said, I think they'll give us.
We're gonna see more Last Guardian, and we're probably gonna see Horizon because those are the two big products that Sony has right now.
There's some Viking related game. I
Viking related game.
Yeah, they're doing some sort of Norse Viking game.
I have not heard of it.
I
seeing
don't remember
anything about that.
names. It's more recent. We'll probably see something about it. I don't know if it's
We'll
specific.
probably
to Sony.
see Little Big Planet 4.
No. Crash Bandicoot.
Don't care
Reboot?
about it.
I don't know. I think that it's more likely that we'll see Last of Us 2 than if we see Crash Bandicoot.
Really?
I think
Yeah,
that there's a strong possibility that
unfortunately.
we'll see a Last of Us 2 because
I
Naughty
don't-
Dog's already talked about them wanting to do it.
Yeah, but I don't want it to happen.
I don't really want it to
I don't
happen either. I think that it'll taint the first game. But honestly, I didn't think that Uncharted 4 needed to happen either.
It didn't.
It's true.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great game. Nothing but good things to say about everything that I've played so far, but I didn't eat it.
I don't know. I've never really been a big fan of Uncharted. Not that it's a bad game. It's a great set piece. Just I didn't really ever think that there was much depth to the game itself.
That first game does not age really well.
Uncharted 2 was amazing. Uncharted 2 was probably one of the best games I played on the PlayStation 3.
Is the big thing going to be for Sony other than Horizon and Last Guardian? Is it going to be our PlayStation Neo?
Probably.
I feel like they might spend a decent amount of
The
time.
biggest prediction that's most likely true based on everything that's been reported so far is probably going to be that we're going to see new console versions for both the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah, with the 4K.
Which is unfortunate.
It's
We'll get
unfortunate,
into that.
but I mean,
We'll get
it
to
is
that
what
later.
it is.
Anything else from Sony that you expect? I know Sony.
They're probably going to be pushing more of their PlayStation VR. I think, like I said, I think VR is probably going to be the big focus this year.
They have their bundle, so I
Which
expect
is-
nothing less.
I really, don't get me wrong, VR is fine. I've messed around with it at this point. I don't hate it like I used to, but I'm still not entirely on board, this is where all video games need to go going forward.
But look how well 3D games,
What
3D
3D
movies.
What 3?
Right?
Spy Kids 3D!
Everybody who bought those
Did you
3D
watch that?
TVs.
Yes!
It's so good.
Everybody who bought those 3D TVs, yeah, happy about that still.
I'm sure there are people that are happy
Probably
about
not.
I'm very proud of that.
With their HD DVD players
I'm sure
connected
they-
to their Xbox 360s. Yeah, those people.
So,
You know
Okay,
who
those
you are.
people,
You know
yeah.
who you are.
with
Those
Sony,
people.
we're going to see Last Guardian. We're definitely going to see Horizon. We'll probably see
Final
an
Fantasy.
official, actual release date for No Man's Sky at this point, other than just August.
Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 15.
7 and 15 will be there. Well, 7 may not. I'm not.
Kingdom Hearts 3?
Probably not.
Come on.
I want to see Kingdom Hearts 3, but,
I just want it to happen already.
it's going to happen, but
it's-
the big issue right now is that Square Enix has, put all of their eggs in the Final Fantasy basket. So
Yeah.
if Final Fantasy 15 flops, Square is done for. They're going to be dead in the water.
But it won't.
They got
It
Final
won't.
Fantasy
Yeah,
7
with
to
how
fall
hard
back
they're pushing it, there's no way that it's going to flop.
on. Final Fantasy 7. fall
And
back on.
I don't know if you've seen any of the stuff for Kingsglaive or not, but it looks really good. As far as compared to the Spirits Within, it looks infinitely better.
Well, that was also fucking, 15 years
Hey,
ago?
I know, but I'm just saying,
there are games.
did you ever see the Spirits
Yes.
Within?
Yes!
That
Look.
had fucking nothing to do with
Look.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy
they
has
shared-
always been different.
shared the name.
If they had named
Look.
it anything other than Final Fantasy, I would have enjoyed
I
it.
was fine with it
I was
being
fine with it.
I hated
called
it.
Final
It was
Fantasy.
terrible.
What I'm
everything.
impressed about is you can watch Final Fantasy Spirits Within right now, and it looks better than some current gen games.
Well, yeah,
Food fight.
but I mean, Square's never had a problem with it. There are two companies that I always equate to really good CG, and that's Square and Blizzard. I don't see any reason why that would ever change.
I was just saying it's impressive that a game or movie from 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's
15
it
years
looks-
ago.
The CG is great. I'm not arguing that.
It was early 2000s.
The story was and it really had nothing to do with Final Fantasy. They should have
Nothing
just,
ever has anything to do with
They
Final
should have just
Fantasy.
dropped the Final Fantasy title and just called it The Spirits Within. I would have enjoyed it more.
So moving on from Sony, Xbox.
We're probably gonna see. Well,
I doubt at this point they're going to come out with their own VR. I think.
well, they
like
don't
you
have
said-
to. Microsoft bought up Oculus.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So
We're gonna see a console with Oculus.
are they going to come out with AR as well? Because
Yeah,
remember,
they've already
They
talked
did
about
push that out
HoloLens.
last year,
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
they?
no, I'm saying they announced it last year, but I'm saying, are they going to?
They're probably going to have some kind of integrated support between HoloLens and Oculus. I don't know how they're going to integrate that, but they're going to
Because
find a way to do it.
I'm say whatever you want about it. When everyone was doing motion controls and they came out with Kinect, granted the Kinect did not pan out the way they wanted it to. I was way more excited with full motion stuff
Versus
than I
sticks.
was, sticks. So in the same way I was with the Kinect, I want augmented reality. I want to do RTS games on an augmented reality, table or whatever, right?
so-
That's where I.
Yeah, that
I
would be-
agree. I agree that augmented reality would be really cool, but I see it better as a tool than a game.
Yeah, well, I mean, the
Oh,
only
you don't want them to do what Nintendo does?
the way they showed it off last year was they were like, "Hey, look at all these things you can do in Minecraft with augmented reality."
Yeah.
So, I think it would be a great tool. I don't think it would make a really good game.
A platform
I
for
think,
it.
I think,
But-
like I said, there are situations. Like I said, RTS games would be cool. Would be
Well,
awesome.
you're in luck
That's-
because
that's-
Halo Wars 2 is probably coming out.
Yes. Yeah,
But-
that's gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
I already know.
Halo 6 is definitely going to be at E3.
Really? Is it now the Call of Duty of PlayStation?
No, because Call of Duty is going in space, so Call of Duty is now the Halo of.
Call of Duty is
You're
now the
shitting
Halo
me,
of
right?
Halo.
No, Infinite Warfare is
We're
going
gonna
in space.
see. We're gonna see
You
for
just-
sure.
No,
Is there one protagonist that it always follows throughout all these Call of Duty
Yeah.
games?
kind of.
Captain Price.
Yeah, it's kind of been in all of them. They're gonna have spaceship battles,
It looks
and
terrible.
you're gonna have futuristic weapons.
It's like the third most disliked video on YouTube right
yeah,
now
something like that.
Oh, that video.
Yeah,
I haven't
but-
even seen it.
for
Yeah,
Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, they're becoming Halo.
Well, I think it's kind of funny that they've decided to shoot themselves into the future with Call of Duty, and Battlefield was like, let's go back to World War One. Nobody fucking cares about World War One. It was trench.
People are excited about it.
Look,
I don't know
You don't
why.
want destructible trench building. Like you spawn with a shovel and you're just like yeah.
I mean,
digging trenches.
That's like the most realistic thing they could possibly do with World War One.
You sound like Zelda, or not Zelda, Link. He's like, yeah.
They should totally add that.
I mean, you're in luck because Zelda's going to be at E3. But I think that we're
Halo
going to
6,
see.
yeah, you're right.
We're definitely going to see Halo,
Halo Wars
6.
2.
We're going to see more Infinite Warfare.
Well, I think we're gonna actually see it more on Sony than Xbox. 'Cause remember now they're
Right.
more. They have
I think that
launch rights. or
we're
whatever.
definitely going to see something for Titanfall 2 this year.
Gears of War 4.
Gears of War 4 is a given
Yeah,
because it comes
that's-
out in October.
Are they bringing back Phantom Dust? Have they?
I
'Cause I
think
heard
it would
it
be
was-
interesting if
I think
they
they.
brought
I
it
heard
back.
it was
hope
in
they
the
do.
air.
I
They've-
hope they do.
They've talked about the fact that they don't want to take it off the table.
Right.
So it would be neat if they decided that they're going to keep Phantom Dust.
Conker's Bad Fur Day 2.
That's not happening. That'll never happen.
Did that hurt? Did that hurt you? Did it hurt you, listeners? I'm
The
sorry.
problem is that Rare is already focused on Sea of Thieves. I want to see more of Sea of Thieves because it actually looks like a decent IP from Rare, and Rare hasn't done anything good since fucking Conker. Conker's Bad Fur Day was their last good game.
But Conker Live and Reloaded.
Conker Live and Reloaded was just a remake of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Was it not good?
It was okay. It wasn't as good as the original.
Banjo Kazooie had a racing game.
Yeah, nuts and bolts. Come on, man. Grabbed by the ghoulies. What?
Those are both not the Banjo-Kazooie racing game. The Banjo-Kazooie racing game came out on Game Boy Color.
No, it's nuts and bolts.
No, that
Banjo
was
Kazooie nuts and bolts.
that was Lego
Came out on
Banjo-Kazooie. And it was
360.
terrible.
What racing?
Banjo-Tooie wasn't even as good as Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie is still one of the best games ever. I'm really excited for Ukulele. If you didn't know this, it looks amazing.
Sound like an old man right now.
Because
Back in
I,
my day, Banjo Kazooie.
Look,
I'm not knocking Banjo Kazooie.
John, this is what happens when you've been playing video games for 25 plus years.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why do you like? I want to be excited for Mighty Number 9, but it's probably gonna fail.
I think it'll break even.
It'll break even, but like when it first announced, it looked like it was gonna be everything that I wanted Mega Man to be, and now it's like maybe kinda sorta a spiritual successor to Mega Man.
There's
It's
that
fine.
Castlevania spiritual successor.
That
The
still looks really
Blood-
good,
Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
but we're probably not gonna see that. Maybe
Maybe
maybe we'll see Silent Hills.
No, you shut your mouth.
Maybe they'll
Wait. Oh,
We'll see
that's
those-
the other
we'll
thing.
see PT
We're gonna see some kind of teaser.
teaser.
Sorry, I'm a little drunk. We're gonna see some kind of teaser for Kojima's new game.
Yeah.
It's
Probably.
gonna happen because
That
Kojima's
soon?
already. He said that he wants to get it out really fast.
Yeah.
They're working. They're gonna be working in Unreal so that they can get it out faster.
Right, but when did he join with?
Well, he joined with Sony
Right, when did he? When was that?
back in November.
It's enough time to get a concept out.
Yeah, he's had more than enough time to. Get
Oh,
a
so you're
concept
talking
out.
about like a teaser.
Yeah,
trailer.
there's not going to be anything
okay.
major, but there's going to be like
What's-
Kojima's going to show up and be like, "Hey, look at
What's
this thing
the-
that I'm working on. It's not Metal Gear Solid."
What's that Suda 51 style game that's coming out?
I know what you're
And,
talking about.
it's not Suda 51, but it's in that same vein of like kind of quirky, like horror, funny, kind of weird. I don't remember what it's
I'm
called.
not sure what you're talking about.
It's like I almost want to say it's like a beat 'em up kind of where you kill people.
Oh,
and-
that helps.
I don't know.
You kill people in like every video game.
Not every
Let's try and
video
narrow
game.
it down
Journey?
a little bit. Journey? What?
Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
No, I'm trying to narrow down what the game is
Oh.
at this point.
We got a professional here.
Okay, fine, you do that. And
Look
I'll
it up
keep
on my
talking.
phone, unfortunately.
Well, I do think that we'll probably see a actual release date for Cuphead, which I really like to see because it looks amazing.
I thought it was out already.
So, yeah, that's the other thing. Indie games were a big part of E3 last year.
Yeah.
Like
Last 2 years.
ID at Xbox.
Last 2 years.
Are we going to see more of that, or are they going to shy away from it because they have the new consoles and
I think
VR/AR/whatever?
it'll probably be a mix of it because I think that everyone's kind of accepted the fact that indie is the way to go. Like a lot of developers are going indie these days. So I think that not embracing that
It is Suda51. It's Let It Die.
Oh, yeah. That
game.
That weird multiplayer game.
Excited
I'm not excited.
for no reason other than the fact the trailer looked cool.
Like, I'm
Sorry.
a big fan of Suda51, but I haven't yet to be interested in Let It Die yet. It sounded interesting, but it didn't look that good. The other game that they have, Sony has another arena shooter coming out. It was something to do with you play as sketches in this kid's notepad. I don't remember what
no
it's
idea
called.
what you're
Flash
talking
game.
about.
It's called Drawn Apart or something like that. I don't remember what it's
It's
called.
supposed to drawn together.
It's
Scribble Nuts.
No, you'd have to look it up, but it's being done by the guys who did Twisted Metal.
I have not heard of this.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Huh.
Because it's all done in the style of a kid's sketch pad on a notebook. And it looks great. It's all line drawing.
What else from Xbox? So we got.
We'll definitely see Titanfall 2 this year.
Look.
Titanfall was really good. It had solid mechanics.
Despite people complaining about the $60 price, which it probably wasn't worth $60.
No,
despite the story being very lackluster, one of the cleanest games mechanic-wise that's come out in the last. I wouldn't say decade. I wouldn't say decade. I'd say decade.
The big thing is you have to market your game right if you're gonna do that. Because look at fucking Overwatch. It's entirely multiplayer. It's got 3 game modes and a $60 price tag on the consoles, and people have been buying it up in droves.
It actually sold out on Amazon.
That is really weird.
It's because Blizzard marketed it right. Also, they did an open beta and everybody loved it.
That's what solidified it.
I mean, I would go about it.
I mean, they call it open. Okay, can we not have open betas this year? I'm fucking tired of the word beta being thrown around.
No.
I mean, the frustrating thing about Overwatch...
At this point, they're just test demos.
Well, Overwatch didn't... I don't think they even tweaked anything.
No,
they were just
there were some minor tweaks, but they were mostly graphical.
I think the biggest thing they were testing were their servers.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
makes sense.
Overwatch
They were doing
had
load testing.
only a few problems at launch, impressively few. Overwatch was impressive with their launch.
Overwatch did a
They
really good job.
had some hiccups, but unlike other games, especially games that Blizzard's come out with.
Yeah, Blizzard. This is.
Yeah. Well, Blizzard's gotten a lot better in the last few years.
But
too.
I'm saying with their track record with Diablo 3, it was terrible at launch.
Yeah.
Diablo 3 was the only real game that really just did not.
And look at
launch
every
really well.
time Call of Duty launches.
I
the
hear
servers
Burning
are down
Crusade
for
was pretty bad at launch.
It was.
Everything was broken and people, shamans were missing all of their items.
Yep.
Shamans specifically lost all of their shit.
I didn't play Shaman, but I heard about it.
But yeah, I mean, the hiccups they had is nothing compared to when Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty or all those other
Fucking Assassin's Creed.
I really hope that we don't see another
Master
Assassin's
Chief
Creed this
Collection
year.
was one of the worst launches I've ever been a part of.
What do you think that Ubisoft is going to be doing for their release? Or their
Another Assassin's Creed game?
No, they're
They've
not.
already announced that Assassin's Creed is off the table
Yeah.
this year.
It's
They're going to promote the movie.
Dishonored.
I think that,
Don't care.
Dishonored is Bethesda.
Is it Bethesda?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We're definitely going to see Dishonored 2.
Watch Dogs 2.
That's what it was.
I promise you, there's and I did not like what I was.
I
not
really
impressed by Watch
I'd
Dogs.
like to finally see some in-game footage of Ghost Recon because I'm really excited for Ghost
I
Recon.
forgot about that. Holy crap.
Ghost Recon Wildlands or
Yeah.
whatever it is. It looks really good.
I do
Or
want
at
to play
least
that.
it's been nothing but trailers so far. But if it's what I'm wanting it to be, which is an open world tactical shooter, which is not what The Division is, I'm really excited.
I would also expect some Division something.
Like
Can
DLC
Division
or
just
whatever.
Something,
die?
yeah.
I really want The Division to just die.
Why?
It's not at all what I wanted it to be.
That's fine. Let it.
Woohoo! There are
Also-
games that came out that are what I wanted to be.
Look, I'm just saying, it's terrible.
It's not terrible.
It's pretty. How much have you played it since it came out?
I got to level 20, I think. Look, I'm not saying I enjoy it. I'm just saying there are people that do enjoy it.
Yeah.
I just.
And despite people complaining about the fact there might be a movie,
I'm still.
the story behind it was way more interesting than the gameplay.
If they're going to continue to
Sorry.
use the Tom Clancy name to put out games and they're not going to put out anything good, can we at least get a new Splinter Cell that doesn't suck?
I was about to say, you want a bad Splinter Cell?
No. I want a Splinter Cell, I want something more like Chaos Theory.
What's his name? Sam Elliott?
Sam Fisher.
Yeah.
Fisher.
Bethesda has something that they're announcing.
Do they? It's probably the new Skyrim. I mean, the new Elder Scrolls. Because there's been giant rumors about a new Elder Scrolls coming out anyway.
Yeah.
Behemoth would probably show their game.
You mean they're a strategy game?
Yes.
Eh.
Look, man.
I love the Behemoth, but I'm not really excited about a strategy game.
When have they launched anything that disappointed you?
When they decided that they were going to launch a strategy game,
Hasn't launched yet, and it hasn't disappointed you yet.
it's disappointed me already because it's a strategy game. If it's not Command and Conquer, I don't care.
But they'll probably do something.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Halo Wars 2.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't be Halo 6 is definitely going to happen. Halo Wars 2 may or may not happen. Gears 4 is definitely on the table.
What about Nintendo?
I'm hoping that we see more Scalebound, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm super excited for Scalebound. I will continue to say that I love Platinum. Everything Platinum does, I will play. I don't care how terrible it is.
Have you got the new Ninja Turtles game?
Not yet. I really want to.
It's got average reviews.
The big problem, all the reviews that I've read
reviews.
have said that it's not good if you don't co-op, which makes sense because you have to control all the turtles at once if you don't.
Holy crap.
But
is it local co-op?
No.
What the seriously?
Look, don't
No, I agree.
I would rather have.
I entirely agree.
No,
I
would
tired
rather
of
have
local co-op taking a dive because
I would rather have.
I'd rather have local co-op.
The flip side of that. How pissed were we all at Scott Pilgrim?
But they finally released online.
Yeah. You had to pay for it.
Yeah, they did.
A year later.
I wasn't upset that they finally released it. I was upset that they made you pay for it. That was fucking ridiculous. Because
so I would rather have online co-op available at launch if it has to sacrifice one.
But why not both is the better question.
Yeah, so the reason that Platinum gave for not having local co-op in Ninja Turtles was because they didn't want to sacrifice 60 frames a second frame rates. And then
what would it have dropped to?
The game still only runs at 30 is the thing. So there's no reason for it.
There is no
reason
reason
you hate
for
Platinum
it.
No, I'm saying that it was a stupid decision. And it was probably not entirely their decision. Because it was owned... Activision owns the Ninja Turtles IP. It was probably an Activision choice.
Damn it.
But I'm really excited for Scalebound. Scalebound looks interesting.
Yeah. Alright. We can just skip Nintendo because they're not going to be there.
Nintendo...
Just kidding. They're doing their online...
They're doing their Nintendo Direct thing again.
I've yet to be impressed with any of their Nintendo Directs. I'm sorry.
Last year's was really good.
How did you not like last year's?
Last year's was great. They had fucking puppets.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was great.
Star Fox puppets.
Star Fox puppets.
This is the best.
Also, I'm still supremely depressed about the fact that Iwata passed away.
They're gonna have some sort of tribute.
They're gonna continue to have tributes for him because he single-handedly rerouted the entire Nintendo flagship. I really want a Mother 3 announcement.
It's not gonna happen.
Go.
No,
man.
I will never let it go.
You're gonna be on your deathbed and Mother 3. It's coming, I swear.
It's gotta be coming at this point.
No, it
because
doesn't.
They've already released it in Japan. There's no reason for them not to have localized it at this point, especially since they've released Earthbound and Earthbound Zero on Wii.
They'll do it.
It's gonna happen.
Whatever.
At this point, it's just a waiting game.
I don't know if it's gonna be an announcement at E3.
It fucking better be, because they made a point of making a joke about it at E3 2 years ago. God, that still makes me mad.
So,
because Reggie was just like, Frank.
So I think you said they're going to do more than just Zelda,
They've
which
announced-
they've been previously said they're only doing Zelda, which was
Originally,
stupid.
Nintendo said all we're going to be showing at E3 is going to be Zelda. It's the only thing that's going to be playable on the floor. It's the only thing we're going to talk about.
And then I'm sure they had to backtrack because that is a terrible decision.
That said, if they are actually just going to be doing like open world Zelda, like Skyrim Zelda, I'm entirely for that. I want that to happen.
You weren't for Dynasty Warriors Zelda?
I played it and I thought it was cool, but it was
Dynasty
ultimately
Warriors Zelda.
meh.
I've never.
Ultimately, it was the same as every other Dynasty Warriors game.
Can I borrow it then? Because I want to play it.
Yeah, you can borrow it.
Full disclosure, like I've yet to be excited about Nintendo stuff since like
I'm really excited for Zelda just
Bayonetta
because
3?
it's not gonna happen.
Beautiful Joe 3.
It's never gonna happen. I really want it. So, Beautiful Joe died with Clover Studios. That's never gonna happen. Okami's never gonna happen again. God Hand's never gonna happen again.
Wonderful 101. 2.
Wonderful 102.
Eternal Darkness 2, The Darkening.
No, it's more frustrating because Dennis Dyack, the guy that created or that was behind Silicon Knights, like came out with the new game that was supposed to be a spiritual successor to Eternal Darkness. They were trying to get it crowdfunded and entirely tanked, and now he's back and he's like, we're gonna try and do this again. It's probably not gonna work again, but we're gonna try anyway because I'm a fucking piece of shit.
Can't blame him for trying.
The guy's kind of an asshole.
You can't blame him for trying.
He also, like, his company entirely tanked after Too Human because. So, Too Human was just riddled with problems. I don't know if you ever played it or if you ever have any desire to play
Was
There
that
was-
the one on GameCube?
No,
No, it was originally going to be on GameCube, and then it got moved to Xbox 360.
I
have no idea
I
what this
wanted
is then.
that to be infinitely better than it
I
was.
have been following Two Humans since it was like a prototype on the Nintendo 64.
Holy crap.
Yeah, remember earlier when I said you're an old man? Yeah, there you go.
I remember when they were announcing StarCraft Ghost on 64. I remember
Here's
seeing
the-
screenshots of it.
The big reveal at E3 is going to be Konami coming out and announcing a new Contra. It's going to happen.
I'd be okay with that.
It's going to be Contra Pachinko.
What else did Nintendo say they were doing for sure?
They're going to be doing Pokemon Sun and Moon,
Pokemon Go?
Pokemon Go, and some kind of Dragon.
Either of y'all excited about that? Probably not.
No.
You're old.
No,
I don't care. I haven't cared about Pokemon in like 4 generations or something like that. But I mean, it's interesting that they're doing the whole VR thing with Pokemon Go. I think they're like 6 years too late. I mean, the technology wasn't
about 6
the
years
technology
too
wasn't
late.
necessarily there a couple of years ago, but I think they're a little late.
I signed up for the beta.
I think they're a little late, and people are still asking for their
I didn't
their
actually.
Pokemon RPG game that they're never gonna get.
I didn't sign up for the beta for any reason other than to be like, "Hey, suckers, look what I got." But I really want like a fully 3D console Pokemon.
Pokemon
game.
Stadium.
Yeah,
like-
Pokemon Stadium.
No, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
Actually,
Pokemon Coliseum.
Pokemon
Pokemon
XD.
Snap. We need a fucking
Yeah,
Pokemon
we need
Snap.
Pokemon Snap 2 E3 2016.
Predicted.
Done. Done.
It has been a giant waste of the Wii U to not have a Pokemon Snap.
Seriously.
With their second
Seriously.
pad. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no. Ching. Yeah, no, definitely. What else other than Pokemon Go? And new Mario game based off of whatever gimmick they're gonna do.
No.
They've got to have it. Well, there's not going to be a new
Not
Mario game
yet.
announced at E3 because
Not yet.
they're focusing on Zelda. Because for the first time, we're going to have a Zelda game as a launch title. Well, I guess we kind of had one
Partial
for the
launch.
Wii.
Yeah.
I was
They
gonna
said
say
they were gonna do
Phantom
break.
Princess.
Twilight
Princess.
Princess.
Phantom Menace.
If you have,
No.
no, okay.
No, I need to play it.
You have a Wii U. You should play the HD version.
No, that's what I'm saying. I should play it.
Yeah, because the HD version is modeled after the GameCube version, which was the superior version
Yeah.
of that game.
Whatever. Just play the old Zeldas. They're probably better.
But Ubisoft, we're probably going to see Mirror's Edge from EA. Aren't you excited?
Oh yeah, I forgot about EA.
No, that launches this month.
It's not out yet. It's going to be at E3.
Fair enough.
I'm still waiting for reviews on that.
Beyond Good and Evil 2?
No.
Come on, man.
It's never going to
You and your stupid Mother Earth 3,
Mother 3, sir.
and I can't get a Beyond Good and Evil 2?
No, you can't.
You want a new Metroid game? You want Beyond Good and Evil 2.
No, I want a new Metroid
Then
game.
you're not going to get it.
Yeah, I am.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 is close to it.
No, it's not. I'll just wait for Mother 3.
Yeah, Ubisoft.
Star Wars. There's gonna be
Crackdown 3?
There's probably going to be Battlefront 2.
Crackdown 3?
announced.
Yeah.
Crackdown 3 will be at E3.
Finally.
Because
Zero gameplay
it's
in the
supposed to
last
be
year.
out sometime this year. I
Zero
think.
gameplay in the last year.
And it's not even being. They've changed developers for that company for that game 3 times, haven't
That's
they?
not
Something
good.
like that. Because
That's
Wide
not
Load did
good.
the first one, Ruffian did the second one. Now they've got a new company doing the third one.
Look, as long as it's not 2, I think I'll be okay.
2 wasn't bad. It was just.
It's a letdown.
It was more of the same.
It's a letdown.
I guess. It was a letdown in the same way that Crackdown existed.
I mean, they're gonna beta it with some. They're gonna beta it with something, so it'll sell well,
Halo 6.
probably. Or Halo Wars 2.
Well, I mean, that was how they did the first.
Yeah, no, that's
Crackdown.
what I'm saying. It was Halo 3 beta. I remember that.
They were like, hey, look at this Halo beta that you get if you buy Crackdown.
And I like how people were like, "Hey, this game that came with the Halo beta isn't that bad."
Yeah, that was why I
That was
bought.
all
That
the
was why I
reviews.
bought Crackdown.
That was all the reviews. That's really it for
Yeah.
these companies. I mean,
That's pretty much
EA
it.
is gonna have Battlefront 2, Battlefield 1,
Mirror's
because they
Edge.
don't know how to title things.
Mirror's Edge.
And then
Mirror's Edge
Madden
2.
something,
Yeah, they're gonna do their yearly sports stuff.
which is fine.
I'm
Ooh,
actually
ooh,
kind
wait. Didn't this year when the license expired on, not that you guys necessarily care about sports games, but I want to say it was this year that they were finally like completely done with the licensing that they had over NFL, arena football, and NCAA.
Oh wow.
And
That's a lot.
well, because they had a monopoly on it. That's why the last 2K game that came out was NFL All Pro Football on the 360, and then before that was 2K5. And I want to say that the courts definitely ruled against them, so they could only keep the NFL license.
Really?
So I'd be excited personally to see a 2K football game, 2K NCAA or 2K Arena Football, which gets zero coverage ever, but it'd be a nice kind of deviation from the norm. And
Something
again,
different. Yeah.
yeah, and they came out with good games back in the day.
I want to see a new Jet Set Radio, but
Never
you know,
happened.
dreams just don't come
Dream
true.
on.
Meow, meow.
That should
Mother
be
3 is gonna happen.
Dream.
damn
That,
it.
that's your song. Dream on.
No,
Dream
Mother
on.
3 is happening. It's just a
Dream
matter
on.
of when
No.
at this point.
Never.
It's gonna happen.
Never.
I mean, not that it really matters. I've already played the game, but I want to be able to
How
officially purchase it.
Dare you?
What? If Nintendo's not gonna give me an official way of playing a game that I want,
How?
I bought a player's guide.
I think that's it.
I mean,
actually.
PC always does something, but their
PC doesn't
Their
really.
coverage
their
is
conference
terrible.
is so long. It's as long as E3 it is. So
No, so the last thing that we need to talk about, because the big ones are we've already covered. We didn't really talk about Bethesda a whole lot.
Well, because they don't really have
Don't
very
care.
much.
They've got 2 big games that are
The
coming.
card game.
Dishonored
Yay.
2 and Elder Scrolls Argonia.
don't care about either of them.
Argonia is going to be the name of the game.
Whatever.
It's going to happen.
Argonauts. Got it.
Jason and the Argonauts. Boom.
So I guess the
Drop a knowledge bomb.
after the games, and we briefly touched on the hardware. In
There's-
terms of the state of the industry, who was it? Was it Xbox? Was it Microsoft that there were rumors that they were going to do a modular system, and then they came out and said, no, we would never do something like that. Was it them or Sony? One of the two companies did
It was
that.
one of the two. They're both
And-
full of shit. It
and-
doesn't matter.
I honestly think they could make a viable business model off of doing a modular system where you can upgrade the components. It would be more
You
PC-like.
mean a
This,
computer?
Yeah.
this is a
They could just build
conversation
a
for.
computer.
This is a
No, I mean, this is-
conversation for a different time.
This is. I mean, I have a problem with them upgrading their consoles in the middle of their life cycle. I really do. Like with upgrading them for 4K or VR, whatever.
But it's still going to happen.
It
That's the
depends.
big difference.
It depends on like the market first of all.
The thing, like, the
The
whole-
more that 4K TVs are getting sent out, the more that it makes sense to actually make.
4K TV prices are also going down. So
Exactly. So it makes
it
sense.
makes sense at this
Especially
point to
since
do
they
it.
make TVs.
We'll
On
see.
top of that,
They're updating their systems to be able to support current technology, which I'm okay with.
I think I don't agree with it, but it makes sense from a business standpoint.
Right.
We'll see. I just have a problem with upgrading consoles like that. Like, it's one thing to release a slim version. It's one thing to release a whatever.
I mean, the Xbox Slim was a slightly more powerful version of the Xbox 360. So it's not that big of a jump to make the change to releasing stronger hardware.
I just have a problem.
I think it's
mean,
stupid because, ultimately it's all going to end with everybody buying PCs eventually
Never happen.
anyway. No, it's going to
It
happen.
won't happen. in your
It'll
lifetime.
take a long
It
time.
won't happen in your lifetime.
It'll take a long
The
time.
appeal-
It's going to be
to the-
two
to the-
console
To
generations.
the general consumer, to the general consumer, they see a $400 price tag, and for a decent gaming PC that will last you for a few years, at I would say what $700-800 starting.
Yeah.
Sticker shock.
Makes more sense. You
I
know
mean,
how many
no,
times
don't get
I've
me wrong.
upgraded my
No,
computer
I mean,
in the
it makes
past
more
8
sense.
years?
Yeah.
Twice.
No, but come on, how many people think that far ahead? They see $400, they see $800, $400.
The average consumer doesn't know anything about
I know,
games.
but what I'm saying is we're moving closer and closer to PCs becoming mainstream.
Those
PCs are going to
The
eventually
No,
douchey,
I
the
agree with
douchey
that.
PC master race would never let that happen.
No, it's gonna happen.
it's already happening.
because they're making
they're making
PCs,
a comeback.
They're making PCs more and more approachable by standard consumers.
Yes.
So the more user friendly they make those, the sooner we see a drop in that.
We'll see.
And I think that in the next 2 console generations,
Oh,
we're going
I
to
disagree
see
with you on
Yeah,
that.
I don't
portion.
think-
I disagree with
two.
you on that portion.
2 will
That's
never.
fine,
No.
but I still
You'll be in your
entirely
40s
I'm okay with that.
before it happens.
It doesn't affect me. I play PC.
What I'm
and
saying is
console.
you'll be in your 40s before it happens.
Fine.
And I mean,
That's 2 console generations for me.
that's not.
God, I'm old.
Okay,
Shut up.
we skipped something entirely. I mean, we've touched on almost everything. But speaking of PCs, speaking of everything going to that, does Sony come out and say we support cross-platform?
Yes.
Probably not. No.
Because that's
Because
Other-
Sony is the big holdback for that.
no, they
Yes.
Microsoft has already said they're down for it.
Why would they hold
PC
back
has
at
been
this
down
point?
for
The reason that they can hold back is because they've already announced that they have a larger console, they have a larger lead in the market than Microsoft does. They don't gain anything by doing that. That's why they're going to hold off on doing it.
But the thing is, like right now, the paradigm has shifted to where they're the ones that are.
If they're
Not-
calling the shots,
Yeah, they're the ball's in their court, and if they don't do it, I think will the backlash matter?
That's the
No.
problem. It's like they're not going to do it because there's not going to be any reason for them to do it. They don't gain anything. They're not going to
If
gain.
you're saying they're
sales
all
from it.
moving to a PC style market, it would make sense for them to promote cross-platform.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
an ideal world, it would happen. But in a world where Sony still has a marketing hold over Microsoft, they're not going to do it. Because as long as they're continuing to sell, they're not going to care. And
I
they've
mean,
already announced that
like I said,
they're
it-
outselling Microsoft in every industry. Which
operating
is,
systems.
well, I mean, you know what I mean. In like every region, Microsoft
Tablets?
is being outsold by Sony.
Tablets.
In every region, John. Not in every.
not in your heart. Not in your heart.
But I mean, that's the big thing is they still have that trump card of we're making more money than you. We don't have to do this.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
The problem is like looking at it from a fan perspective, it doesn't make any sense. Looking at it from a marketing perspective, it makes all the sense in the world.
Were you trying to make a money pun there?
No.
Well, you did.
Okay.
So final question: who will win E3? Who will quote unquote win E3?
Nintendo.
Wait. Are we talking out of just the console makers, or are we talking
Just-
about all of the
Just
Sega.
out of the console.
Sega's gonna do it.
Dreamcast 2?
Dreamcast 2 out of the gates. Let's go. Oh, we're probably not going to see Shenmue 3 this year either. Just so you know.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, so are we talking winner out of the console makers, or
Or just everybody, just out of everybody.
you go ahead and start.
Nintendo.
Seriously.
They're not gonna be there.
Seriously.
Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate you.
They're gonna show off, like, once
Stupid
they show
answer.
off Zelda, Nintendo has never disappointed with a reveal.
So
What?
So okay, whoa.
What?
Before we get into
Outside of
arguments,
Mario
How
or
dare
Wii
you.
Music.
Spew such lies to our viewers, our 4 viewers.
We're up by 2.
those are me.
You never disappoint.
What's wrong with Nintendo? What
We
is
just talked about this like
Nintendo?
20
Like,
minutes ago.
and the entire time
I
I
don't-
said that as long as it's Skyrim, Zelda, I'm entirely down for it. Zelda is going to be amazing. Like,
I don't think it's gonna be.
it's gonna be.
Yeah, Skyward Sword was so widely accepted.
No. Not looking at their past. I'm talking about like I don't think they have enough leg to stand on to overshadow like Final
No.
Fantasy VII.
I think you grossly underestimate how much people like
I
Pokemon.
think you grossly
do.
overestimate how much like the general population
Final
has
Fantasy
just
VII.
given up on Nintendo.
Final Fantasy VII is gonna outshine
Like
anything.
as much as I, despite all of their stupid marketing decisions and dumb Xbox Live plans,
What about
and
Splatoon 2?
It won't happen that soon.
it won't happen this soon. I honestly think with
John, I don't appreciate your negative attitude.
towards Nintendo, I
No,
swear.
towards me.
Shut up.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I honestly think with as much ammunition as Sony has,
Yeah, I think Sony's gonna.
they have a loaded hand right now.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't even talk about the fact that they're probably going to show Bloodborne 2 this year.
they have a loaded deck right now. Okay, and unfortunately,
I feel
Microsoft can't put anything up that can even like all of the stuff that Microsoft announces won't even touch just the Final Fantasy hype
Yeah.
that's there.
Halo
Final-
6.
Final Fantasy.
Halo 5 was great. The campaign was okay. But
That's
the
not-
multiplayer.
but
You, that's not great. That is not.
The
you can't say it's
multiplayer
great.
is a return to form for Halo. And that's
Look,
what I would.
look here, old man. I know you want Halo 2 again. It'll never happen.
That's what Halo 5 is. Halo 5 is Halo 2 again.
But yeah, no. Sony just has a loaded deck right now, and I mean, I don't necessarily think.
Final
They-
Fantasy alone
Well,
just holds.
I
that.
think they'll win E3. I don't necessarily think it'll transition after E3 to a win.
Well,
Right.
you know,
I
Well, I
think,
know.
I think
I-
post E3.
there
it's-
isn't really a winner.
Shut up!
No,
Don't be one of those people.
No, seriously, the
You
whole
know you
the
are.
whole winning at E3 is bullshit anyway.
Yeah,
I
it's
just said
entirely
it just to
crap.
kind of.
I'm still entirely behind Nintendo.
No, that's
You're
fine.
not getting Mother 3.
I am getting Mother 3. I may not get it this year, but it'll happen eventually.
And on that note,
What, you didn't say Sony?
I agree with you on
Oh,
Sony.
okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, so everyone's just going to throw Microsoft under the bus.
And on that note-
I would say Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo.
Nintendo.
On that note, we're going.
That it? All right, we'll catch you guys later.